part of the problem is that you have many different agencies working to try to deal with the impact of the storm. But beyond that, this part of the Philippines is not used to either flash floods or landslides, which really has caused the most damage and is the cause of the deaths. Tropical storm Sendong dropped more than 10 hours of heavy rain Friday night, and its effects, not the storm itself, actually caused the casualties. Government says it warned residents to evacuate, but most didn't because, again, these areas have not been traditionally hit by the floods and the landslides. So Friday night, the floodwaters rose alarmingly fast. It reached roof level while many residents slept. Nearly all the casualties died in the flash flood. 5 were killed in a landslide triggered by the rain, according to officials here in Manila. Right now, the sun has just set, and the search and rescue operations continue. You've seen some pictures of the soldiers out there. There are at least 20,000 soldiers conducting these search and rescue operations. They say that there could be as many as 100,000 people displaced by the rains. Tyler?
And we understand with the terrain and the weather, everything being difficult, how is it possible for the military to get help there?
They're doing it with great difficulty, and the government, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, has actually called for volunteers, both in packing goods. There are about 20,000 people, according to the Social Welfare Development Secretary, who are in about 20 evacuation centers in Cagayan de Oro, the city that's hardest hit. The 2 cities hardest hit are both port cities, and you can see the impact of the rising waters on the people here. But it's unexpected. Local officials actually have called it unprecedented in these areas, and as the sun has set, they're still trying to deal with the impact and trying to get people settled in evacuation centers. As you said earlier, they estimate maybe up to 375 people are still missing. Tyler?
Unfortunately, Maria, as the waters recede and even though the storm has moved out, we expect the death toll to possibly rise. Is that right?
It's unclear at this point. The officials themselves are getting themselves organized, and the relatives are still looking for their victims. To give you an idea in terms of how the death toll is even being reported, the official counting center, the crisis committee here in Manila, actually has a very low death toll count now at 74. And yet local officials in those 2 cities that have been hardest hit is putting it much higher. The Philippine Red Cross has put the death toll at 213. So you can see that there's much confusion, that they're trying to systematize this and get help to the people who need it. Again, as the sun sets, the work becomes more difficult.